You're welcome back. You're welcome back. It's still the press on KAFTAN television. The beautiful Monday morning, and welcome to June. Beautiful. We're in the middle of the year already. Wow, this year is really fast, I would say. I'm NIGCOMSAT. It's my pleasure this morning to tell you that the studio is full. I promise you we would have some wonderful guests this morning to take on some topics that you'd surely be interested in. Well, to my very far right, I have the delectable, beautiful. Yes, we have beauty and brains in the studio this morning in the person of Dr. Vivian Sonny Nsirim. Dr. Vivian, good morning and you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I love guests like you. She's been in the building since 8:30. You know, people like that leave anxiety out of you that, oh dear, are my guests running late? Well, I must tell you, she is the founder of Young Moms Support Initiative as well as the Young Moms Forum. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Princess, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. We also, I must tell you, have in the studio and in the building this morning Dr. Umar Yakasai. Dr. Yakasai is the DG of the Tinubu Support Group. You're welcome. Good morning, sir. All right, let's just dive into the topic we have this morning. As you know, we've just finished May 29, and that's a lot of people have been listening to President Tinubu's scorecard a lot. Some have been giving kudos in some areas, some knocks, some wondering when exactly the economics of the president's actions will now kick in and make Nigerians start enjoying the benefits. Some are saying, oh, it's been a woeful failure. Others are saying, you know, different things to be said. But let me start with you, Doctor. You know, when the campaigns were on, I mean, we're not talking too much politics today, but you remember when the campaigns were on, all the presidential candidates spoke extensively about their desire to remove fuel subsidy. All Nigerians were lamenting bitterly about fuel subsidy. Tinubu came in and did it from day one, and it's been lamentation since. What is really the missing link?
Thank you very much, Princess.
Yes.
Thank you, Nigeria. Good morning, Nigeria, for having me. I will start by saying that I congratulate the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on his second anniversary. I would also like to say that based on the question you have asked about the subsidy, it's a very bold step that the president took by removing this fuel subsidy from day one. It shows that he's the president that knows what he wants, and he came in and did it from day one. Now, as soon as he announced the fuel subsidy, Nigerians went back home and increased the prices of commodities. It is not the fuel subsidy that increased it. It is we, the Nigerian. So we have to go back to the drawing board. What are we doing as Nigerians to help the president? What are we doing to help our economy grow? The fuel subsidy have done so well in increasing the FAC, the federal allocation. It has increased the FAC, but the prices of things have increased because we, the Nigerians, are the ones putting up prices. We have to go back inwards and ask ourselves questions. Do we need the economy to be like this? How can we help the president grow our economy? So it is now left for the public, for our people, to tell ourselves the truth and what we want to see in Nigeria.
Yeah, but some are saying that in a situation whereby the president announced it, there were no soft paddings for Nigerians, and they say things like, oh, you said there was going to be a whole lot of CNG, and they're yet to experience rides in the buses, and they said there's going to be this 6 months moratorium for cheap imports of rice, and there's none of that. Rather, food costs are escalating. Somehow Nigerians link this escalation in food costs with this removal of fuel subsidy. Now, I mean, you and I know it all has to do a whole lot with insecurity and past administrations, you know, non-focus on agriculture. So I would like you now tell Nigerians, break it down to them. These stuff like that. What would you say, so that, people kind of feel, not that antagonism over the cost of food prices?
Rome was not built in a day. a lot of things have spoiled during the years back.
Right.
And President has also initiated a lot of economic reforms. We need to give him time. It's a gradual process. We cannot repair what has been broken for years in 1 year. We cannot repair it in 2 years. We need patience. And I think that with all these reforms that have come up, all these economic reforms, Nigeria will come back. But we also have to help ourselves.
Yes.
We need to help the president. It is not about announcement and you go back to increase a lot of things. No. Rices, even local rices, we are increased. But the rices we are done here in Nigeria, why are we increasing the prices? We need to tell ourselves the truth and see how we can help the reforms that the president have initiated to work better for us Nigerians.
Okay. Well, people are saying, we just had May 27th, the Children's Day, and based on, since yours is a Young Moms Support Initiative,
yes.
I just want you to look at this question. It's not just the Tinubu administration, admittedly, but throughout in governance, there has been a shortfall of the United Nations minimum for education. It's 30% of a national budget. They've never hit this 30%. Now, Tinubu that said he's giving this renewed hope, he hasn't even met it either. So, we're bombarded with these images of schools with no roofs, the students sitting their feet inside puddles of water, lack of teachers and all that. What, apart from, we know the concentration on tertiary education and the loan, but how about this basic education and the basic minimum for education? I know you're not the Minister of Education, but at least say, as a young mother, we like your perspective.
Young Moms Support Initiative is a non-governmental organization seeking to support women, youth and children for a better society. Every child deserves a quality education. Every child deserves the right to be educated. According to Oprah Winfrey, when you educate a woman, you've educated the nation, you've empowered the nation. I think the Minister of Education, he has also introduced so many reforms, so many initiatives that will help the education system in Nigeria. It's a gradual process, but we need more hands on deck. One person cannot do it. The president cannot do it alone. The minister cannot do it alone. The directors too, working in the ministry, should also put their hands on deck. We need to be accountable for our work. We need to be accountable for our position. What happened during the JAMB wasn't a very good one. No, it wasn't at all. And I was happy that the JAMB DG was able to come out to apologize. But apology is not also enough.
No.
We need the right people to on board. The president also has to reshuffle, look inwards, look at his people, and bring in more capable hands that can help him move these reforms. Because when you don't have the capable hands, you cannot go anywhere. One person can't do it alone. Right.
But you step-sided one of my questions, which is, why do they keep underfunding education?
We have budgets, and we cannot work out of our budget. We cannot keep borrowing.
Right.
We need to work with what we have. So we have to do with what we have too. Right. You understand? We cannot move out of what we don't have. We can improvise. So it depends on the people managing it to manage it better.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Well, today we had a cover story of the newspaper, the Daily Monitor. If you could just put that up for us, please. The Daily Monitor this morning had a screaming banner headline, and it said, "You failed Nigerians woefully." Afenifere tells Tinubu, accuses president's administration of engaging in massive propaganda, claiming false successes. So that was one of the screaming headlines we had first thing this morning. So I would like to address you as the DG of the Tinubu Support Group, Dr. Iyakasai. They are saying that Nigerians have been failed woefully and that all these successes are just mere propaganda. I would like you to react to that and also put your own perspective to the to the Afenifere position. Maybe next time we'll have the Afenifere people here in the studio, right?
Yes, thank you very much for having me. I would like to start by saying that we are all Nigerians, and people naturally in Nigeria are entitled to their various opinions about assessment of the government that is in power. And their assessment may differ from our assessment who have supported President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let me just give you an example. If you take Nigeria like an old car that has been in existence since 1960, and it has been driven by so many drivers, and those drivers had ensured that their brand new car had become a rickety car. If you hand it over to the last driver, you cannot blame the last driver for all the faults in the tires, and the shock absorbers, and the steering, and the electrical appliances of that car. And therefore, if that driver tries to manage that vehicle to its destination, what should be given to that driver is a kudo for not allowing the car to stop on the road. So, as far as I'm concerned, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come into government in the last 2 years, and all that he has been trying to do is to see how he can manage the mismanagement of governance in the last years that people have governed this country. If you take, for instance, this question of fuel subsidy, this was something that started with a very minimal subsidy, but it has grown to such a level that is no longer sustainable, where few people cut away billions of dollars in the name of subsidy and round trip this money, and Nigerians do not enjoy that. People will go around to Central Bank of Nigeria just because of parallel market, get dollars in the CBN, come out of CBN, go to Zone 4, become overnight billionaires. That is not a sustainable economy. And therefore, when you remove subsidy, is a removal, and when you ensure that there is no parallel market, is to ensure that the economy grows, and the economy will grow based on the realities and the dictations of the free market economy. And when people have asked, after President Tinubu came on board, if you remember, there was no provision for subsidy in the 2023 budget as at 1st June.
True. Yes,
so when you say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed subsidy, he only accepted that he will not bring back subsidy in the budget or supplementary budget post 1st June 2023. And if there are any preparations that should have happened as contingency plans, it should have happened along with the removal of that in the budget, along with all those cushioning effects. But when he came in as a president who has campaigned and is ready for this office, he ensured that, one, whatever was saved out of that subsidy was deployed to Nigerians. Let me give an example.
Right.
Immediately he came on board, he realized that the majority of the problem will fall on the masses. And he gave 5 billion naira to all the governors in this country to ensure that they cushion the effect of subsidy removal. From that subsidy, if you remember, the sovereign fund rose over to 1.something trillion naira, and Mr. President ensured that the allocation, federal allocation that goes to each state was more than threefold in amount. And that is where the funds had gone. Also, he ensured that grains of rice and other staples were distributed to the state to give to Nigerians freely while waiting for the economic reform to take effect. Also, he ensured that over $7 billion that was owed outside this country was cleared with the savings of that subsidy. He ensured that the IMF loan is cleared with the subsidy removal when you're asking of the funds. He ensured that CNG buses were committed. And you know, when you want to start production, it takes time for you to produce, because we are not producing these CNG buses in country, and they have to be produced, shipped into the country. And not only that, he has ensured that other fuel stations have been given the incentive to ensure that they can convert petrol cars that run on petrol to gas. Not only that, he ensured that funds that are saved from this subsidy are deployed into the NEL fund, so that Nigerians who are in the tertiary institution can access this fund and be able to pay their tuition fees. If you remember, a foreign reserve, when he met it was low, but now that foreign reserve in Nigeria has grown over $20 billion. So when you are asking, what is the effect of subsidy removal? What is the effect of removal of this parallel market? Is to say that these funds have been deployed for the benefit of Nigerians. But Nigeria is a huge country with over 200 million people. And therefore, the resources that you need to be able to create the necessary impact that every Nigerian will feel it is humongous.
Right.
And this amount of money that is saved cannot produce that kind of amount of effect within the 2 years of his administration. So I congratulate him in being 2 years in office and holding this ship without any
crash.
Yes.
Shipwreck. Yes. Okay, but like you were saying, you raised a germane point, because you said with the they met low foreign reserve and have grown the foreign reserve, in leaps and bounds. So that begs Nigerians a question: where are the loans? Every time we're hearing about more loans, every time we're hearing about supplementary budgets, every time we're hearing about more appropriations. If you are growing a reserve of money, why not take from the reserve? Why borrow? Because the borrowing comes with a cost, and it's the cost of our, the children's future. It's our grandchildren, our children. How long is an administration? Maximum 8 years, maximum. If you have a second term, then you borrow and borrow and borrow. Get it right. We have no problems with borrowing, but Nigerians have the problems with all this borrowing. No talk about repaying. What is it being used for? So these are some of the naughty questions Nigerians keep asking. If you could just help out.
Yeah, so you see, people who are in business know that the principles of business is, if you have your own resources, your own personal resources, you don't deploy it and fund aside capital for your own business. What you do, there are banks there who have resources that can provide this capital for you to be able to fund your business. So likewise in government, the first thing, and for you to get a capital from a bank, you know the concept of are you credit worthy?
Yeah,
do you have collateral? And so building a land certificate and some other tangible things are serving as collateral. But for a country, what guarantees you to be credit worthy as your collateral is the amount of money that you have in your foreign reserve that will guarantee that whatever amount of money you receive in loans, you should be able to pay, because if nothing happens, there is a foreign reserve that can serve as a guarantee. So you have to build your foreign reserve so that you will become credit worthy in the world. And all those AA ratings, are based on some of these indices. And that is why any person, and if you remember, Aswaju is an accountant, he has worked in the oil industry, he's a business magnate, and he knows that for Nigeria to be reputable across the world as a credit-worthy country, you have to build your foreign reserve. That is one. Two, he has tried to clear debt. When you go to a bank A and you have collected money for a particular project, you need over time to be able to repay that loan.
Yes.
And you can't go back to that same bank to be collecting loan when you have not settled the last loan. Now you have to go to a different bank. And so what the president and the economy says is that you should be able to clear outstanding debt that are due. Because when it's due and you don't pay, then you lose credibility.
Yeah, and then the interest rates sink in, so you end up spending, all income on debt servicing.
Exactly.
And then little on actual capital funds, and then people feel, 4 years have passed and you've done nothing. So this is just the dilemma a whole lot of our presidents face. Well, we're almost getting to the top of the hour, so right now we can have the numbers up on the screen already. So yeah, those are the numbers. Beautiful technical team. So what will happen, we'll be expecting your telephone calls. You can call in and engage with our guests. You can also let us know what you feel about this discussion segment, because like this program is your program. It's for the people. So our guests are here to also talk to the people. I am here just for you, the people. I'm here to serve you. So those are the numbers. Call in and let us know what you feel on any of these topics that we have raised this morning in the studio or in the headlines. All right, let me go back to Dr. Vivian. Doctor, Nigeria right now is bedeviled with insecurity challenges. Agreed. This administration, I keep telling people, we have a different template from what we had before, especially in Southern Kaduna. That's my one mantra. Every Sunday, Monday morning like this, we'll be hearing about how many churches were attacked and how many Christians were killed. All that, is gone. But more have popped up. So now we're dealing with Lakorua, you get this, we're dealing with that, we're dealing, even this morning we had an issue where an army barracks situated in the city center, their explosives killed 9 people. So here you are trying to help people from terrorists and you are killing them. So we're saying it's insecurity. Give us your perspective of how insecurity is being tackled in the country. But just before you do that, ma'am, with your permission, let me take my first caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, you're our first caller. When I was in radio, we'll be ringing bells and dancing. So you're the first caller. Good morning. Happy to have you. Your name, where you're calling from, your submission. Caller, are you there? Network, please. Please, network. Network, please. Can you hear me? Oh, come on. We lost the call. Never mind. Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you very much, Princess.
Yes.
Insecurity is one of our challenges in Nigeria. I think it's even the major one.
Yes.
And the president has put up a lot of things, a lot of budgets for insecurity. The Minister of Defense is doing so much to see how we can tackle the insurgents, especially the ones in the northern states. But like I've said, it is not how it was before now. Over the years, just like you said, every day or every weekend we hear about the bombing in the churches and all that. But we don't hear those now again. It has reduced. And it's also a gradual thing. We are getting there. We know we are going to capture the Boko Harams and other people, in what they are doing. But we need time. We need, time to process all this. It has reduced.
Yes.
And we know it's going to be something of the past.
Amen. Well, let's take our caller. Hello, good morning. Hope I'm lucky this time. Can you hear me? You're live. Hello. Lines are crossing because... Oh dear, lost the call again. Please do well to keep trying. We're having some network issues, but I'm sure that's all being sorted out. So please do well to keep trying. The numbers are still there up on the screen. The numbers. There they are. All right, so you hit the phone and let us know what can be done. Let's see. Let me see if I can get this one. Third time lucky. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Ooh. Good morning, you're welcome.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure. Fine, thank you.
Yes, I'm calling from Yobe State.
Yobe State, fantastic. What's your name, sir? Your name, sir?
My name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Emmanuel.
Please go ahead. You're live.
Good morning. I'm hearing what you are saying there. I thank God that the station has our sister there.
Emmanuel, please help us. Turn down the volume of your television set, or better still, walk away from it. There's a hall back. See, there's a hall back. We're hearing ourselves.
Okay. Are you hearing me now?
Have you done that?
There's a question asked our sister there concerning the school and the children.
All right.
But,
She can hear you.
let us be true to ourselves. You're a mother. Our sister there is a mother. And just because of the government, if the government is doing wrong, we support the government because they are there. We are going to give account the last day to God. Whatever happened to our country today, in fact, you're supposed to correct it. Even though the other people made a mistake, you have to correct it. You're a mother there, you're a father there. I know our sister is asking a lot of questions there, but we are dancing because of party system. If Bola Akinibu is doing well, all of us will praise him. We are abroad, doing well. Looking a short time, everybody is commenting about this man, talking about things, praising him that God Almighty will grant him eternal rest. Let us be frank with ourselves. People are dying. People are suffering. Children are dying every day. Look at security. When they ask you about security, say that you are graduate. Graduate when people die in issues, are you going to rule who? Are you going to rule who? Are you going to rule stand or grass in the field? We are ruling a human being. Look at Trump. Trump was crying about children that people are dying, innocent people are dying. Our president just stay quiet upon God himself for this measurement about children that God sees this and that. You say security. You didn't say any good word to Nigeria to be very happy. You know, we're talking about we are trying, we are doing this, and you're a mother there, you're a father there. You are defending something which is wrong. Please, let us be frank with ourselves. God will give us account. In the day, this blood we are wasted. God, everybody will ask about it. If you don't repent and do well, may God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. He is feeling that the president made some statements but failed to address the issue of the death of those children, like we had this auto crash and some others. So, let me just hold your thought and answer to that. Let me see, because I'm so worried not to miss another call. Good morning.
Good morning, Ma.
Morning, sir. You're welcome.
You're good.
Yes, sir. They are hearing the greeting. Let's have your name.
Okay, Ade from Port Harcourt.
Beautiful. Port Harcourt calling in. Go ahead, Ade.
Yeah. What I want to say that this administration not have it formal for mind. That was everybody suffering like this. And again, the issue is that those people that are close to the president, they cannot tell her the truth. That was everybody is suffering like this. I don't know why. The time of good luck, the time of Oyana, all of them, they will come to radio station. They can interview people. What's the issue? What's the problem? They are just because of something they want to chop. They cannot tell the truth. That's why the country does the code every day. Can you not tell me anything is fortunate enough for the Nigeria?
Come on, tell you.
No fortunate. No good. Not to eat so many things like that. Nothing is working. Okay, say everybody. Just give me patient 2 years, 3 years. Do you see anything can make this patient tomorrow? For me, I cannot see anything for now. Now you move some fresh subsidy. Now everybody is suffering. Go to even if you buy clothes now, everything is fake. Everyone does it behave as they like. Don't do somewhere there is working. Which working? Can you not go to market? After you buy your 1 naira, tomorrow will be 2 naira. Why do we have for ourselves? Let's tell ourselves the truth. Why is that our truth? It's not our today because of our children. See, no one, everybody is jobless. Don't work. If you borrow money, fine. Everybody can borrow money. Good. Then what are you using the money borrowed? No one can lose the money. When you think money, like go on to APC, go and say, go and laugh.
Right.
It's almost 1 year.
So you've made your point, and that's our next point now.
What are you telling of them?
Don't get too emotional. Don't get too emotional. All right, thank you very much. You're getting too emotional. Thank you very much. But he's raised a germane point, so we cannot ignore Ade's point, because DJ, I think you could address that. You know, he's trying to say that, look, he has no problems with, the borrowing. If I'm to read him right, but all the time we have government officials keep looting the money. So each and every time we always have, information how, we've recovered these estates of houses from a government official. The next time, we're recovering billions of now. You understand? They keep on looting the money rather than directing it towards what it should be for. So, I mean, it mightn't necessarily be the Tinubu administration. We're catching people even from Muhammadu Buhari administration. But, the pinch is being felt now. So maybe you could address that.
Yeah, I could understand that Nigerians...
Please keep the calls coming in. We'll pick them.
I could understand that Nigerians over the time have lost confidence in their leaders. And whenever their leaders tell them that this is the true color, the true picture of things, some tend not to believe. And, when you talk about, let's say, road construction, he said he has not seen roads happening. Let me give you an example. If Nigeria has 36 states, 774 local government, and if you are in your own environment and you have not traveled, it will be difficult for you to ascertain whether there is a road construction going on or not. The only way you can verify that is if you take the next available car, and if government says we are doing a road that leaves Kebbi, Sokoto to Badagry, just take a visit, and if it's happening, you will see. Or otherwise, if they say they are building a road from Lagos to Calabar, take a trip, go there, and then do a video to confirm that this is not true. If they say they are doing a road from Kano to Katsina that has started and has not been abandoned and is now to continue, take a trip, go there. And the president has mentioned roads in his speeches that have been commissioned, and if you do not travel to those places, there is no way you could see that these roads are taking place. One. Two, when you talk about insecurity, if you remember before the coming of APC in 2015,
yes,
in northern Nigeria, the entire roads had, if you travel between Kano to Maiduguri, you will meet close to 40 checkpoints, and instead of traveling for 5 to 6 hours, you spend 24 hours traveling. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And now,
and with 14 local governments, 14 local governments have been seized in one of the states with flags of Boko Haram hoisted up in those local governments. That's true.
I travel to Maiduguri, there is no incidents of insecurity. Even Cairo to Abuja, when you come to Kaduna, you travel to Abuja, just take a look at the history. How many times do we report kidnappings? The number have reduced. The Nigerian National Security Advisor gave statistics, but Nigerians don't want to believe government because over the time they have been failed. But I'm telling you, there is a significant improvement, but people just need to believe. If they don't believe, they should just go and confirm. If you look at it, somebody told me that even in Birnungwari, where it was not accessible before, farmers have farmed in this last farming season. Governor of Niger State is said to be the farmer governor. If there are insecurities in his own state, he wouldn't be having called the farmer governor. So
let's take this call. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning. I'm calling from Benue State.
Benue State. Your name, sir?
Collins.
Collins. Collins, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Right, let's have your take.
Please, I want to, the analyst was talking about the insecurity that started from the time of PDP or what's to come. If you look to the way the insecurity has come to now, it has come down to the doorstep. Formally, we have to see that more especially the kidnapping was done either on the road or maybe forest or whatsoever. But presently now they come down to your house to kidnap you. That wasn't the case or the issue I was to rent tender anyway. I was to plead. I don't know actually if it happens that people in the National Assembly and the House of the Senators and the House of Rep and the Presidency are watching this program, just like we don't normally want to lose it. The way the security architecture is taking place in Benue State is so alarming. Now is the rainy season. I now see the name that the logo, the motto of Benue State is food basket of the nation. It happens that we cannot go to our various farms. How will that name be retained again? Now is rainy season. Everybody should be preparing his or her own land for farm produce. But now we cannot go to our farms. The Ochidoma and the governor also has pronounced that they give them at 2 weeks after it has expired, they are still here. They have given them another 2 weeks, which I happens to remember that is remaining that 9 or 8 days today. And some of these people are not prepared to go. How can we go to our farms? If you look at some of them now, they don't even, normally we stay with them together. There is peace. But this particular product of herdsmen that came, they came for destruction. When my father was alive, they don't pass through the farm, they pass around where there is grasses. Even some of them, their sheep is having problem, they will give to them as of in those days. They dash them and my father dashed the yams, guinea corn and some of. But this particular one, when they pass through your cassava, I tell you, it's as if they use bulldozer to graze it. Is it the right thing that we can stay together? I want especially Benue State, that food basket. If this nation entirely wants us to keep that name, let them do something about it. I pronounced last time that this particular product of grasses, there's feed that is in Benue State that their cow cannot do without. Why can't they get that product and take it to Sambisa? There is nothing there. It is just a platter of land far and to the boundary. Why it will not take up to 3 months With irrigation, they can get all these things and they can just keep them there and be grazing their cows.
All right, thank you very much. You've made your point, Collins. And, you know, we know the situation in Benue has really escalated. It's really an ugly one. He's suggesting that, look, why don't you know, just the government should make provision for them to just stay over somewhere else. But, you know, we've had pronouncements lots of times from government officials that these people are actually foreigners. They're not Nigerians, and like he was saying, the way, their manner, everything about them is strange, and probably buttresses the point that they're foreigners.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please respond.
Let me just say that.
Yes.
You know, the history of the farmer hardest class.
Yes.
It's a one that is long-standing.
Yes.
And is getting worse due to climate change. Initially, when we had less population, there are routes where these cattle move from north to the south and then back. But gradually, population has increased, and they have taken their farm and they are farming and some of the cattle routes. And this has created conflict. And when you say that there is no decrease in conflict, I can assure you, remember, in 2011-2012, Kano, the entire police command was bombarded. UN House in Abuja was attacked. Yenyan, there was bombed. So many insecurities that have happened. With the coming of APC administration, we have not heard of that. People have moved into the bushes, and that's why these things are taking place. Now, the government, APC government, have tried to solve this long-term problem. They came with a Ruga policy where these Fulani can have their ranches, but of course Nigerians have a say because the land belongs to the people, and that policy was not allowed to see the light of the day. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board and said, how do we resolve this issue of farmer herders because of cattle eating people's
food,
and then there's a backlash and there is conflict.
Yes.
He brought the Ministry of Livestock, and the essence of this Ministry of Livestock is to ensure that there is a final and a permanent solution to this crisis. But every policy that you propound needs time to be implemented, and you see results.
Right.
It's just like if you are married and you have a wife, it takes time for you to deliver a baby. So there is a gestational period.
Yes.
And I think the president is addressing it. Not only that, many of the things that the president has observed and Nigerians are already complaining about, he has said he's a listening president. He has accepted that some of the policies are taking a biting toll on Nigerians, and where the government is concerned, and the government is trying to do things that will help. And in public policy and administration, if you remember,
yes, policies
policies of government, you have to look at what are the problems, what are the solutions, and then you rank them.
Yes.
And then you choose the best and apply. It doesn't mean the fact that the ones that are lower in the ranking are not important.
Right, let's take another call. We have a caller now. Tom, you're calling in from Nasarawa State. You're welcome, Tom.
Thank you.
How's Nasarawa this morning?
Nasarawa is cool.
Beautiful. Right, let's have your take.
I don't know whether I can comment on the fuel removal subsidy.
Comment on whatever touches your heart. The floor is yours.
Okay. Mommy, the NGO mommy over there.
Dr. Vivian. She's Dr. Vivian.
She spoke of the subsidy removal is doing the nation well. Although the subsidy removal is not bad, but the first approach for the president removing the subsidy, Nigeria, they can capitalize on anything. So what happened was the removal of the subsidy is okay, but at the inauguration, removing it just like that, it was capitalized on, and many things went wrong. So the president will have studied the nation properly and then check all those things before removing it silently, so people will have not capitalized on it. What our mommy said where is true, because we are in the grassroots. We localize, I can tell you now, the model is 1,800, and although people are not really helping matter, like she said, we bring something for your farm, you just add the price, but you can't blame them transporting those things to other places. They also charge them a lot. So the only issue that I'm commenting on this fuel removal subsidy was the quick removal from the day of inauguration. and then the masses capitalize on it, and then all of us are suffering. Not that it's a bad idea, but it will have been studied, the nation will have been studied, and then the world will have been silent. You can even remove it. Is it not the budget of 400 billion every month to subsidize, to help importation and all those things? You are doing your business and somebody is supporting with a huge kind of money like that. If you want to do your business, to do your business, but they will have studied it and remove it so silently and nothing the heat that people are facing. You know, Nigerians are problem to themselves.
Oh dear.
When something like this comes, we use it upon ourselves and it becomes so. I just let me throw a little comment concerning that aspect. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your take. Okay. You know, everybody's, the words on everybody's lips. It's like this administration, you know, each administration comes with its own lingo. Some will come with Boko Haram and now be raining. This one has come with fuel subsidy removal and that is now raining. Well, anyway, he was feeling that the situation wasn't studied. But like the DG pointed out, it wasn't even in the budgets. He was only announcing what was already on the ground. But there's a germane question Nigerians do not ask. Doctor, I'd really like you to look at it this way. Now, fuel subsidy was removed by the president. The money saved from fuel subsidy was instantly disbursed to the states. Nigerians, I keep saying on this program, ask your governor, hold him to account. Where is this money? Your budget last year was 1 billion. Now it is 33 billion. The extent of change of my life from 1 billion is equal to the same way my life was. In fact, it's now worse, like people will say, because the price of food is now high. Where is this money? It's always Tinubu. Tinubu.
Thank you.
Tinubu. Tinubu. Madam, talk.
Thank you so much, Princess. You know, fake news travels a lot, especially in Nigeria and this era of social media.
That's why we're here. Mainstream media, you always get it right when you go to mainstream media. I'm never going over into too much social media.
So I would also like to use this opportunity to educate the public. It is time to hold our people accountable. It is not only about the president. We keep hammering on the president. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what has he done? Have you asked your local government chairman? The money, president has made local government autonomy now. It's time for us to hold our local government chairman accountable. It is time for us to start asking our governors questions. Let us hold town hall meetings, ask questions, go back to the grassroots. What are they doing? The president has done a lot. He has also initiated a lot of economic reforms here in the federal government. What are the state government doing? Nigerians, time to start asking questions. Hold your local government chairman accountable. Hold your governors accountable. Not only the president. Even the president have already said, I know what you're going through. Nobody is saying that the things are not high or Nigeria is not difficult now. We know what we are going through. As a mother, I'm having an NGO, having funds. I know what I go through every day. I know people asking me for money every moment, every day. But we are not asking the right questions, and we are not asking the right people the right questions. Go back to the grassroots. Go back to your local government. He has their money. Go back to your governors. They have the money. And I've already said, if you make so much reforms and you don't have right people to push it,
yes,
it's not going to move.
It's not going to move. Let's take this call. Let's take this call, ma'am.
Thank you.
Right. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim, calling from Kebbi State.
Kebbi State, Ibrahim, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Your take.
I must commend your effort and other brother and sister over there.
Thank you very much.
The issue under discussion is something that we need to look at. But I want to start with what my sister was saying before I come in.
All right.
About people holding their local government chairman accountable and the state governors accountable.
Right.
You know, in other ways, we will hold them accountable, and the other ways we will not hold them accountable.
Okay.
In two ways. Number one, we know that right now the president has already issued an order that the autonomy, the financial
goes to the local government chairman directly, which the court has already ruled out on that favor, but up till now, it has not taken any effect. And the federal government is aware that you have given the directives for the monies to go direct to the local government chairman so that the lives of the people can be touched directly. Because almost the population of Nigerians, they reside on the local government level. So if those monies go to the local government level, then they will be able to tackle some of the problems like primary health care, lack of water, roads, and what have you. But the federal government, knowing fully well that those monies have not been going directly to local government chairman, but what have they done to remedy the situation? What have they done? If I am the president and I give an order and the upper court in the land has already given judgment that those money should go directly to local government, what is delaying the money? What is happening? Is the president not aware? Why are they not respecting the president's order and the court, the higher court order in the land? They're talking about the state. If the state governors are the one holding the money, because before the local government autonomy as directed by the president, the money goes to the state government, and the state governors are holding these monies in order to hold on to power. Why? They will keep controlling the local government chairman because the money comes from their account. So they have to give them the directives of what to do with those monies. And even if they want to install somebody, if they knew that those monies in their possession, they will have the right to manipulate their ways, to scheme up their ways to retain power, to give somebody who they want to give to.
Right.
But then the federal government is aware of those practices.
Right. Wrap up your thoughts here.
The government from doing that.
All right. Wrap up your thoughts.
All right. So in conclusion,
yes,
the federal government is to be blessed, and on the other hand, the state government are to be blessed. But the federal government at first, because it has the upper hand to deal with whatever situation is happening in the country.
All right, thank you very much for your take. We really appreciate you. Okay, let me ask you, DG. You know, some people have called in and they say, oh, you know, the thing about this current administration is that they have no regard for the poor ones. It's strange because the president was even the one who made a pronouncement and said, listen, let the poor people breathe. So I'd like you to address Nigerians. Tell them, you know, what exactly is the president's heartbeat or his mindset and his actions for the poor and the downtrodden in society. Address Nigerians.
Yeah, I would like to say that if you remember the background of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he was somebody who came from the masses. And God has blessed him. And every time he's in power, the first set of people he remembers are those who are the downtrodden, those who are the grassroots. And that was what he did in Lagos, ensuring that the grassroots who are in Lagos enjoyed the dividends of democracy while he was a governor. Not only that, if you are a governor or a president of a country, you govern the entire Nigerians. And in Nigeria, you have the rich and the poor. And you must do policies that serve the interests of both the rich and the poor. So naturally, government must do policies that addresses the concerns of the rich and also the concerns of the poor. And many of the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu are targeted to ensure that the poor masses in this country enjoy. But just like Dr. Vivian has stated, when the government comes with a policy, there are Nigerians who are merchants of conflict who ensure that they see every opportunity to inflict pain on Nigerians by making profit. And therefore, when the president says subsidy is removed, where there are things that even have no dollar backing, Nigerians who do trade and businesses have ensured that the amount of the prices have gone astronomically even when they are not imported. And if you look at the NEL fund that the president is doing, it is intended to provide free tuition fee, and only people who do not have access to be able to pay for their tuition fees should access that. And
that's the poor ones.
That's the poor ones. Yeah. And that is directed at the poor masses.
Yes.
The CNG buses are supposed to address the poor masses because they will be able to pay less for their transportation. And also the conversion is subsidized so that even if you are a civil servant, you can go convert your buses to petrol, from petrol to CNG. These are poor policies. The amount of money that has been provided for the medium and small enterprises agencies, over 75 billion naira, are to be accessed for people who have small enterprises. That is addressing the needs of the common man. When you talk about education, if you remember, the primary and secondary education falls within the responsibility of the state and the local government. federal government has no direct relevance with primary and secondary education except those federal government colleges. Right. The responsibility of federal government is in the tertiary institution, and they are federal institutions. However, through the UBEC, federal government provides counterpart funding to states to fund primary and secondary education. And if you can look at the budget with subsidy removal, a lot has gone into that.
Right.
If you look at agriculture, a lot of farm input, farm implements, tractors have been provided through the different river basin authorities, Ministry of Agriculture. These are intended to help the masses.
And the
when you ensure
masses.
that, when you ensure that security is provided, is for the mass, is the masses that go to farm. And if security is provided, it means the masses can go to farm and be able to do some of these things.
Right.
And when you free up resources, debt to budget service was about 97%.
Yes.
Now the president of administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reduced it to like 67%. It means resources have been freed and these resources will be deployed. If you do a road construction,
right,
super highways, it is the community that benefit because businesses come to them because there is no road and accessibility. The land and the structures in that place gain value. If your land is 10 naira, it becomes 1,000 naira. It's the masses that will benefit.
The masses end up benefiting.
There are a lot of policies that the president is doing, and he has consistently said, and I'm concerned about it,
right,
but it takes time for policies to mature.
Right.
If you remember in the US,
right, we cannot go into the US, we're totally out of time. Thank you very much. Yes, so yeah, we well spoken. If I was watching you from my house, I would make you a spokesman for the President Tinubu administration. So that was just to make Nigerians more aware, because like you said, we've just marked the 29th May, which is the second anniversary of the Tinubu administration, and like you saw from today's papers, a lot of comments, some for, some against, some are highly against, some feeling some gains, but more needs to be done. The phone lines have been buzzing all morning. I know you're very passionate about all these topics, but we're totally out of time. Let me just thank those who actually got on to us. We had Emmanuel from Yobe State, thank you very much. You had Ade calling in from where was this? From we had Collins from Benue State. We had Tom, you called from Nasarawa State. We had Ibrahim from Kebbi State, all around the country. Thank you very much for your calls. The lines are still buzzing right now, but we're totally out of time to take those calls. Let me just quickly mention here that today, 2nd of June, was the day that the Open National Assembly Day, so it was supposed to be open from today 2nd to the 4th, but the officials of the National Assembly have told us to let you know that it has been postponed and a new date will be announced. So if you were set for that, very sorry, that will not take place this morning any longer. We'd also like to commend somebody, very good news here, that the Plateau State Muslim Pilgrims Board, they are commending somebody, and our commendations here go to her as well. She's a lady, Hajia. She's a young girl, I heard a teenager, and she returned, what's her name? She returned $5,000 US. A Nigerian, one of the Nigerian contingent dropped. You see, she reported it. The owner was found in the streets. Her name is Zainab Idris. Zainab Idris, kudos to you. Thank you. We had news this morning of some people in a syndicate exporting cocaine to the Holy Land, and here you are giving us a very good name for returning $5,000 USD. I know what that would mean in today's dollar conversion. So thank you very much for giving us that cheery good news and giving Nigeria that good image. Well, let me also thank our technical crew who did very well this morning. It's been a smooth broadcast. Once again, I should say a big thank you to you, Bright, and to you, Ihanyi. Let me thank Yira for all the editing. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know the material was in the studio. I was looking everywhere for it, and that led to the way we kicked off. But glory to God, like I say, welcome again to June. Welcome to the second half of the year. Welcome to good things to come. Let's hope the next 2 years will be brighter and better. Nigerians need to keep hope alive. My name is Miki Atta. I must thank my guest, Dr. Vivian Sonny Nzirim. It's been a pleasure talking with you this morning. Thank you for honoring our invitation. I also must thank you, Dr. Umar Yakasai, DG Tinubu Support Group. It's been a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you very much for gracing us in as the studios. Thank you very much for being a part of this program. Thank you for investing your time in us. I'm sure you've learned a whole lot about the spectrum of the Tinubu administration, things that, you know, the government people will not say. So it's us. So what will happen? I'll extend an invitation to you to come back again so that we can talk more, because we you know, there were so many topics I had lined up, which 1.5 hours, as long as it seems, is actually very short. It has actually come to an end. So I'll just say thank you. Have a beautiful, beautiful and a fruitful week. I'm Nikiata, wishing you the best of the day, of the week, of the month. Bye-bye.